And thanks so much for watching Morning Live. Now, were you either part of or surprised by the panic buying phenomenon happening locally due to the coronavirus outbreak? Now, South Africa is no exception. Worldwide, people have been going out, those who have the means, of course, have been rushing to stores to stockpile on items, with toilet paper, curiously, being the most in demand. Now, many consumer analysts have warned that there is no need to panic buy because there's enough stock for items. And to give us a reasonable insight into this, I'm joined now by Patricia Pillay, who is the Sustainability, Legal and Regulatory Executive at the Consumer Goods Council of South Africa. Good to see you. Thanks for coming through, Patricia.
Thanks for the opportunity to clarify this issue.
So, first off, were you surprised by what happened?
I wasn't surprised because we've been watching the trends globally, and I know this is not a unique problem to South Africa. Worldwide, we saw this. When there was the fear that happened when it hit the news of the coronavirus, the first products to go were the sanitary products, and that being toilet paper, as you've rightly said. And so when it hit South Africa, I wasn't surprised when I saw the toilet paper go first.
So it's now being referred to as white gold. But what is it with the toilet paper? Why are people stocking up on toilet paper? And I must just confess, by the way, that I also bought the toilet paper. I don't know why. I bought it because I still saw other people buying it. But why are people buying toilet paper?
Well, I must admit, we've all been trying to analyze it. I'm looking for somebody who's a behavioral specialist. We haven't had time to do that. But I think it may be because people are also using it to wipe down and, wipe down their surfaces, etc. I'm hoping so. But I think the message that we want to pass on as Consumer Goods Council is that there's no reason for panic buying. And I think it's more concern for us because what they are doing is putting strain on the supply chain. We've had urgent meetings with the retailers, and they've assured us, as well as suppliers, that there is enough supply. So there really isn't a need for panic buying. And by putting the strain, what they're doing is disrupting the supply chain. And so it's putting pressure on now getting more employees on board, getting delivery trucks now to do more deliveries. And it's really putting pressure at a time that we don't need extra stress.
And if you think about what has currently happened, so you have these stores with empty shelves, and you may have people who are vulnerable, the elderly, maybe parents who need stuff urgently for their children, and it's nowhere to be found. So, where does that leave us right now? Because that could cause secondary panic amongst consumers.
And I think that what we found is it's in the higher LSMs. So if you go to more affluent areas, this is what you'll find. We found there haven't been reports of this in lower LSM areas and in the lower LSM groups. So I think there is stock, and there are stores you'll go to that will have stock. But this is what we're encouraging, is to say buy for your family only, and just buy for supply for that week, as you would do your normal shopping. And don't be selfish. I think that's what we urging consumers to do. At this time, bring on the spirit of Ubuntu. Worry about those that are vulnerable. Worry about those that don't have cash on hand at the moment to actually stock up.
And then what about how this is affecting prices? Because suddenly we saw the prices of certain items just go through the roof, even just an ordinary bar of soap. And again, have you noticed a similar phenomenon in lower LSM areas as well?
Well, have the prices gone up? That's the question. Or is that just, once again, people on social media who are making these claims? Has it happened globally, and people taking pictures of what's happened globally? And these are the things we're also dealing with, is fake media. And this is what we're also urging people to do, is when you get these tweets come through, when you get these WhatsApp messages, find out the source of it, because there's a lot of fake news. And we're trying to move away from that to say, please stop spreading fear. Really, if you see something, take a picture of it, take a note of what the store is that you found that, and then report it to the National Consumer Commission. If you feel there's price colluding, report it to the Competition Commission. There are authorities that are dealing with it. The Minister Patel has said that he will make sure that it's been looked into. So just be fearful in terms of what's real and what's fake news.
But certainly some people have taken advantage of this. Just to give you a practical example of masks, for example, where my daughter went to look for one because she was traveling, and the price shot up from the time that she found the place where she could buy it to actually buying it, where it went from something like, 5 Rand to 50 Rand by the time she got there.
And I think this is not going to be tolerated. And I believe that's an instance, for example, where she should report that. I know with our call with the retailers, they confirmed and they committed to not increasing their prices at this time. So I think that's a valid case where she should actually report that. And we urge consumers to do that. This is not a time now to be opportunistic, not at all. And we urge businesses and also bulk buying to on-sell at higher prices. Really, let's not do that as citizens right now. Let's now practice that spirit of Ubuntu.
So just finally, we're seeing panic buying at the moment. Are we likely to see panic sell-offs? Because people are even buying things like perishables. Not quite understanding that phenomenon, but it is happening.
And this is where now we move into food waste, because you're buying something, and if it's a perishable, how long is it going to last if you don't on-sell? So please be aware as well, there's food scarcity in the country and globally. So you're buying something, if it's perishable, give it away then, because you don't want it to waste. We already have food waste high levels in the country. So just be cognizant of what you're buying, what are you going to use it for. Take care of the elderly. Look on people, how are they getting food? Is there food for them? And ensure that the rural areas, the most vulnerable people, have access to food at this time.
So just finally, as we end this, to bottom line it, there is enough supply in the country. Please just reassure the public out there.
Absolutely. Please, viewers, consumers out there, please stop spreading fake news. Please be assured. I want to applaud our government. They are doing a great job in terms of keeping us informed. They are, I know there's task teams set up. The ministers are committed. The president has been addressing us in terms of plans that are in place. The suppliers are on board, the retailers on board. They're going beyond their call of duty. They have plans in place to now ensure that sanitizers are available. Production has been increased. So please, I appeal to everyone to just remain calm during this time and support each other through this process.
Well, thank you so much. From the Consumer Goods Council, Patricia Pillay talking to us about panic buying and customers' rights following the COVID-19 outbreak. Right, from panic buying to what's happening on the field of